Your heart beats roughly 100,000 times a day. It is the engine of your life. But what happens when that engine starts to fail silently? Welcome back to Health Pulse Haven. When we think of heart problems, we think of the Hollywood heart attack, the clutching of the chest, the dramatic collapse. But heart failure is different. It's not a sudden explosion, it's a slow, quiet fade. It's a condition where your heart doesn't stop beating, but it stops pumping enough. Here is the scary truth: millions of people are walking around with early-stage heart failure right now, and they have absolutely no idea. Why? Because the symptoms are things you ignore every single day. You think it's just getting older. You think it's indigestion. You think you're just out of shape. By the time you realize something is wrong, the damage is often severe. Today, we are going deep. We are covering the 10 silent symptoms of heart failure that are almost always missed. I'm not just going to list them, I'm going to explain exactly why they happen biologically, so you can spot them in yourself or a loved one before it's too late. Stick around for symptom number 7. It's a specific test you can do right now while tying your shoes that cardiologists swear by. Let's get started. We start with the most common, yet most ignored symptom: fatigue. But I'm not talking about being sleepy after a long day of work. I'm talking about a specific type of fatigue. In medical terms, we call this exercise intolerance. When you have heart failure, your heart's pumping power, or ejection fraction, is reduced. Imagine your body is a house. Your heart is the furnace. If the furnace can't push heat to the upstairs bedrooms, those rooms get cold. Similarly, if your heart can't pump blood forcefully enough to your muscles don't get oxygen. Patients describe this not as sleepiness, but as heaviness. They say, "My legs feel like lead," or "walking to the mailbox feels like wading through mud." It's the feeling of your batteries draining from 100% to 10% after doing a simple task like grocery shopping. If you used to walk 18 holes of golf and now you need a cart for 9, stop blaming your age. Listen to your engine. Monitor your recovery time. If you climb a flight of stairs and it takes you 20 minutes to catch your breath and stop feeling shaky, that is a red flag. Symptom number 2 is happening while you sleep, or rather, it's preventing you from sleeping. How many times do you wake up to use the bathroom at night? Once? Twice? 3 times? This is called nocturia. Most people think this is just a bladder issue or a prostate issue in men. And it can be. But in heart failure, the mechanism is fascinatingly dangerous. During the day, gravity is working against your weak heart. Your heart struggles to pump blood all the way down to your legs and back up again. So fluid pools in your legs and feet. You might not even see swelling yet, but the fluid is there. When you lie down at night to sleep, gravity is no longer an issue. All that fluid that was trapped in your legs rushes back into your bloodstream. Your kidneys suddenly see this massive increase in fluid volume and think, "Whoa, we have too much water." They go into overdrive to filter it out, turning it into urine. If you notice you pee very little during the day, but you are running to the bathroom every 2 hours at night, your heart might be using your sleep time to catch up on the work it couldn't do during the day. We've talked about heavy legs and nighttime bathroom trips. But what if I told you the next symptom feels exactly like the stomach flu, but has nothing to do with a virus? This is the one that causes people to buy antacids when they actually need a cardiologist. Symptom number 3 is sudden loss of appetite, or feeling full after just a few bites of food. We call this early satiety. This is usually a sign of right-sided heart failure. The right side of your heart is responsible for receiving used blood from the body and sending it to the lungs. When the right side fails, blood backs up in the veins. Think of a traffic jam. If the highway is blocked, the cars back up onto the on-ramps. The on-ramps to your heart are the veins coming from your abdomen and liver. Your liver and your gut walls become spongy and swollen with excess fluid. This is called gut edema. Your digestion slows down. You feel bloated, nauseous, and physically full because your stomach is being squashed by fluid accumulation and a swollen liver. You sit down to a dinner you love, eat 3 bites, and feel like you just ate a Thanksgiving feast. Or you feel a constant, dull ache in the upper right side of your belly, right under the ribs. That's not indigestion. That's your liver crying for help. Let's go back to the bedroom for symptom number 4. I call this the pillow test. How many pillows do you sleep on? The medical term is orthopnea. It simply means shortness of breath when lying flat. When you have left-sided heart failure, your heart can't pump blood out to the body effectively. The blood backs up into the lungs. This increases the pressure in the blood vessels of your lungs, causing fluid to leak into the air sacs. When you stand up, gravity pulls that fluid to the bottom of your lungs, leaving the top part clear for breathing. But when you lie flat, that fluid spreads out across the entire lung, like water in a tilting bottle. You literally begin to drown in your own fluids. You might not realize you have this. You might just think, I sleep better propped up. Ask yourself, if you take away the pillows and lie totally flat, do you feel a panic to breathe within 30 seconds? Do you wake up gasping for air? That gasp is your body's emergency alarm. Symptom 5 is a cough that won't quit. You don't have a fever, you don't have a cold, and it's not allergy season. Yet, you have this nagging, dry, hacking cough, especially when you lie down. People often confuse this with asthma or a lingering effect of smoking. But a cardiac cough is caused by that same fluid backup in the lungs. The fluid irritates the lung lining and triggers a cough reflex to try and clear it out. Here is the distinguishing factor, the mucus. A cold usually produces yellow or green mucus. A cardiac cough produces frothy, white, or pink-tinged mucus. That pink tint is tiny amounts of blood escaping from the lung capillaries under high pressure. If your cough is bubbly or wheezy, and accompanied by that pink froth, call a doctor immediately. We've covered the lungs, the gut, and the bladder. But heart failure attacks one other organ that terrifies people the most, the brain. Before you assume grandma is just getting forgetful or showing signs of dementia, you need to check her heart. Symptom 6 is confusion, disorientation, or impaired thinking. This is tragically common in older adults and often misdiagnosed as aging or early Alzheimer's. Your brain is a greedy organ. It weighs only 2% of your body weight but demands 20% of your blood supply. It is extremely sensitive to oxygen levels. In heart failure, cardiac output drops. The body, in survival mode, shunts blood to the most vital organs, the heart and brain, but eventually, even that isn't enough. Also, heart failure alters the balance of sodium in your blood, which can cause acute confusion. If the heart isn't pumping enough oxygenated blood to the brain, cognitive function declines instantly. This isn't just forgetting where the keys are. This is sudden confusion, forgetting names of close family, not knowing where you are, or feeling woozy and unable to focus on a TV show. If mental clarity drops alongside physical fatigue, check the heart. Now, for the specific test I promised you. Symptom number 7 is a relatively new term in cardiology, coined only about a decade ago, bendopnea. Bendopnea literally means breathlessness when bending forward. Here is the test: sit in a chair and bend over to touch your ankles or tie your shoes. Hold that position for 30 seconds. Do you feel extremely short of breath? Why does this happen? When you bend over, you are increasing the pressure inside your abdomen and chest. If your heart is already filling with too much fluid, this extra squeeze from bending over tips the scale. It pushes more fluid into the heart and lungs, causing instant breathlessness. Many people stop tying their shoes and switch to slip-ons, or they grunt and huff when picking things up, thinking it's just their belly getting in the way. It might be heart failure pressures building up. Symptom 8 is the one time you should panic if you gain weight. We are talking about rapid fluid weight gain. Fat gain takes time. To gain 1 pound of fat, you need to eat 3,500 surplus calories. That's hard to do overnight. But fluid? Fluid is heavy. A pint of water weighs a pound. If your kidneys stop filtering water because of heart failure, you retain it. If you step on the scale and you are 3 to 5 pounds heavier today than you were 2 days ago, that is physically impossible to be fat. That is water retention. This is often the first sign of a flare-up before the swelling becomes visible to the eye. This is why heart patients are told to weigh themselves every single morning. Symptom 9 is feeling your own heartbeat. We call this palpitations. It might feel like a flutter, a skip, or a racing sensation while you are just sitting on the couch. When the heart is weak, it tries to compensate. It thinks, I can't pump strong, so I will pump fast. This is compensatory tachycardia. Furthermore, when the heart chambers stretch due to fluid overload, it disrupts the electrical wiring of the heart, leading to atrial fibrillation. Do not ignore the feeling of a fish flopping in your chest. If your resting heart rate is consistently over 100 beats per minute, or if it feels chaotic and irregular, your engine is misfiring. Finally, symptom number 10, the classic, but often dismissed, edema, or swelling. We talked about fluid backing up. Gravity pulls this fluid to the lowest point. If you are walking, it's your ankles. If you are bedridden, it's your lower back. This is pitting edema. If you press your thumb into your shin bone and take it away, does the dent stay there for a few seconds? People ignore this because they say, I was standing all day, or I ate too much salt. But here is the clue. Are your shoes suddenly too tight? Do your socks leave deep ring marks that stay for hours? Does the skin look shiny and stretched? That is not fat. That is fluid leaking out of your veins into your tissue. Heart failure sounds like a death sentence, but it doesn't have to be. It is a manageable condition if you catch it early. The tragedy is silence. The tragedy is ignoring the heavy legs, the extra pillow, the cough, and the tight shoes until you end up in the ER. Here is your next step. I want you to perform the rule of 2. 1. Do you use 2 or more pillows to breathe at night? 2. Have you gained 2 pounds in a day? 3. Do you wake up 2 times a night to pee? And 4. Can you walk 2 blocks without stopping? If you failed the rule of 2, please make an appointment with a cardiologist and ask for an echocardiogram. It's a simple ultrasound that shows how well your pump is working. If you found this video helpful, you might be wondering about the foods that are clogging your arteries right now. Click this video right here to learn about the artery cleansers you need in your diet. I'm Dr. Brian for Health Pulse Haven, reminding you to listen to your heart so it keeps beating for you.